Hello, regular viewer, loyal subscriber. Welcome back to Brackley Town in Football Manager 2022. And I rolled the game forward accidentally, and because my assistant manager was running the team, we had a friendly game against Slough, who are in the Vanarama National South, so they should be a peer club for us. Now, the team that my assistant manager selected was majority made by my people that I am trialling at the moment. So I think they had maybe 2 or 3 first team players that they subbed on late in the game. But an astonishing match turned out to be 7-3. We beat Slough. You can see that the development of our XG, we kept steady pressure on throughout the entire game, and then perhaps as Slough tired towards the second half at the end, we really pummeled them. And leading the charge was Enoch Asante, the chap we have on trial, and certainly he has stood out amongst the people we were having a look at in terms of his capabilities and potential. We can see here now we're getting a much clearer view of him as a player. Our coaches believe he is well suited to a supporting target forward role. He is strong with incredible stamina and work rate. He's fast. 13-14 is the fastest in our team. And with bravery and jumping reach 14, he's 6 foot tall with decent heading. His finishing stats are, perhaps not brilliant, but he's determined, good decision maker. And some of these other stats are a little bit off, but ultimately, he's a free agent, 19 years of age, huge amounts of potential which we've already identified. That our coaches think he could be good enough to play in League One at some point. It would seem to be a necessity to offer him a contract. Now, when we're looking at free agents, if you have a look in the transfer status, you can see if there are other clubs who are aware of the player and who have an interest, i.e. they've popped him on his shortlist. And in this case, we're the only team who've had a look at him. So just checking his personality's balance doesn't actually tell us much. He's very right-footed. We can work on that in training. And he's perhaps a bit heavy, but that just adds to his physicality. I think we can trial him for another few days, but ultimately I think we're going to put a bid in for him, bring him under contract, and have a go. Not a very technical player, but then again, when you're got this kind of speed and strength and capability in the box, he will be a tremendous addition to the team, alongside Lee and Lovu and Bradley Rolt. We are thinking about some of the other team members as well, people we've brought on trial. If we have a quick look at the squad, sorted by ability as far as we know, we've got Bobby Carroll and Bradley Gibbons that are already at the state where we believe that they will be in with a shout of immediate first team action, and they played well in the last 2 matches as well. So if you have a look at Bobby Carroll, very limited player in terms of flexibility. He is rated as a 5-star ball-winning midfielder in our squad. You can see his high work rate is shining through, and he's going to have relatively decent positioning. His tackling is not too bad. His determination, leadership and aggression are what kind of makes him a mentally very tough character. He's 6'2" with great jumping reach, and as somebody who can help us control the centre of the park, given we've always had a problem, or we have a problem in here in that our players perhaps lack a degree of bravery and jumping capability and height, he might be able to provide the answer. He has tremendous potential, pace and acceleration as well. He's a fairly determined personality, which is not a bad thing, although all that tells us is that his determination score is quite high. And as you can see here, we already know that. Our coaches believe that he is good enough to be championship standard, so perhaps even better than Enoch Asante in the ultimate. Bradley Gibbons here, having a look at him, I'm a little bit concerned about some of his stats, because although he's got raw pace, his stamina looks like it's going to be really low, and his work rate is nothing to write home about either. So although he's very determined, I need to have a wait until I see how some of these other stats flesh out, because if his crossing and dribbling aren't very good, ultimately his flair's not brilliant. If his vision is poor, then even a good passing score might not make him suitable for this kind of role. So we're going to have a bit more of a look at Bradley Gibbons. He did play well, but I wonder if his low stamina is going to really make him struggle in a midfield role. Ollie Sims, we don't know enough about him really at the moment. He's got the speed potentially, the acceleration, but we need to see how well he rounds out as a player. Will Rickard, they believe he's a 4-star. He has incredible jumping reach, which might be good for a kind of back post target for balls being swung over from the left-hand side. But we really don't know enough about his profile to make a judgment. Luca Murphy in defence might be a decent shout. He's going to have reasonable jumping, because he's 6'2". His acceleration and pace are probably pretty good. His heading helps out with his jumping reach. Good tackler, going to be good marking. His positioning's a bit off. Again, leadership and aggression with good tackling might mean that he's going to be a solid bet as a 19-year-old for developing. Our coaches believe he is League 2 standard, or can be. Again, they're pretty uncertain at the moment. We've still got two silver stars here. We wait to reveal more of his stats before we make decisions. These two, Joseph Osayi in goal, didn't have a very good match from a stats point of view, but then he did concede 5. Or he has conceded 5 over 2 appearances, admittedly against the first team and one of our peer teams in the Southern League. His stats are not too bad from a goalie point of view, apart from his reflexes are incredibly weak, and he doesn't really command his area very well. His handling is superb, and you can't fault him for his bravery, determination and jumping, but I don't think he will make the grade as our backup. Ryan Clark unfortunately got injured, not badly. He'll be back in training in a few days. He's an odd one, because he can play in a weird combination of roles. In the fullback role, I really think he's going to struggle with pace. If his acceleration is 8 and his pace is between 4 and 10, so we're thinking 7 on average, it's not going to be good enough. His position of 11 isn't going to compensate, and his poor anticipation as well. He's going to be a bad defensive option here. He can't mark effectively, so although he's got a degree of tackling capability and he's quite aggressive, I don't think he's going to fit in the role. Chaps down here, where we've already identified that they have at most 2-star, I don't think they're going to make the cut. So although this chap is a decent, has some decent stats, he has significant weaknesses. Particularly, he doesn't work very hard. His poor vision and teamwork. He doesn't concentrate well, and he shares our team problem with the bravery stat being quite low, and he can't anticipate anything. Given that he can't play attacking, he would have to fit back here where he's only competent. He's not got the work rate to be midfield in the middle of the park, so we're going to have to let him go. Oh, I've already terminated it apparently. Matthew O'Neill, let's have a look. Attacking winger. He is very, very fast. Lacks technical skills. He can't pass. He can't cross. Not very good at dribbling. Got no off-the-ball capability. Some of his intelligence stats aren't very good. I'm afraid I'm going to have to let him go. We didn't see much of Senko during the match. Again, he's got a weird smattering of positions he could play, which is interesting. He's best as a defensive winger, which is an unusual position. I'm going to have to figure out a tactic that uses defensive wingers in a way to, maybe using an inside fullback here to move into the centre of the pitch and having a defensive winger to drop back to cover any wing backs against an opponent that has 5 at the back, 3 central defenders and 2 wing backs. That might work with this player nullifying the wing back making runs up the side, and still gives a lot of thrust up the middle. So we could have a look at that. I like some of his mental stats. His work rate and determination are very appealing. Defensively, tackling and marking and positioning, this is sort of the holy trinity of defence. Not great. We're averaging under 10 here, we've got 8 here, 14.7 average here. That's not brilliant. He's 5'8", so he's not going to win much in the air, and his technical stats are quite weak. So although he's 18, he's probably got a lot of development that he could do. The scouts believe he might be possible for Vanarama National, which is the division above us. Reece Gaskell, midfielder, moderate work rate. He's going to have high pace and agility, good natural fitness. It's good for a midfielder. He's 19, reasonable passing. He's not a flair player though. Bravery of 1, significant weakness, plus strength 4. He's going to be bullied off the ball in the midfield very easily. So I'm just now second goalkeeper here. We haven't had a great deal of look at him, but we know more about him than perhaps the other goalie. He has reasonable reflexes and handling. His distribution, throwing and kicking, very poor, but that's okay because we can distribute short. His anticipation is weak. He doesn't work hard either, and very low agility. I think probably not. We're going to find some better. For those that are sort of sinking down to the bottom of the list of players we have at our disposal, we're not going to carry on eating up our training capacity. These in the middle areas we will keep having a look at. We've got another few days with them, and those up the top we're considering putting in an offer. They've scored very well in the friendlies that they've played in, but we want to keep having a look at those.
I fought with lions and wolves, but I've never fought myself before. It's over every